Howdy folks, and welcome to this week's Fix GT3 track guide for you at Nürburgring, the GP circuit with the horrible chicane at the end. God, I love that one. Yeah, mediocre track this, not brilliant about it, but it's quite a fun track, quite technical at times, good straights for some overtaking. Otherwise, yeah, let's crack on with it. Show the info tab first of all. 67 right degrees will be above my head. Track usage 45%, what I always use in these guides, and the setup I use. I haven't mentioned it in this one, but I'll show you a screenshot if I can find one of the setup I use, which was the sprint setup, which is what is used in all Fix GT3 actually, including the Ferrari down in D class and the B class one. The lap I'm actually going to show you is lap 16 right here, a 1:55.881. So high 55s, but mid to low 56s for me, I think, around here, to be brutally honest. I would imagine the Porsche is going to be the fastest one around here, as it seems to be all the time the fastest car. But hopefully I'll be wrong and the Ferrari is the faster car, because that would be quite handy. Otherwise, above my head will be two screens. You'll see how I get into these sessions to try and make them as accurate as possible. So if you do want to practice a few days before or a few weeks before of a race coming up, this is how you get it on there. Use the UI and go to schedule, and then pick what race you want to choose, and then go into a test session. It should bring everything straight over for you. The other thing is my Discord, where I'll have the OLAP, BLAP telemetry and replay file. I will also have a little Google Docs in there as well that lists all the track guides I've done in the season order. I update that every season, just so if you are following a particular series, then you know where to look. Otherwise, enough of me waffling. Let's crack on with the guide. Nürburgring, the GP circuit. Nice little circuit this, although it is a complete pain in the rear, so let's try and get round here in one piece. Turn 1 is a little tricky little rascal. We are hunting for just as the grass comes back to the side of the track, if that makes any sense. Braking nice and early because I don't want to get this corner wrong. It feels like you need to stop the car right on the apex to get this thing rotated. Use a little transition of height change to help you get around there as well. First gear, really awkward. Bring it back to the right hand side for turn 2, and this is where you just lift off and let the car go around. A little bit of throttle, a little brake if you need to, but it's very, very easy to run wide here, and there isn't off track if you touch the green AstroTurf any more than I do there. Right when the green AstroTurf ends, you want to turn to the middle of the track and brake almost in a straight line while trying to get to the apex, and you want to sacrifice this corner as much as you can. So you be cutting it very nicely and staying to the left hand side of the track to try and open up this as much as you can. I would change into second before the apex of this corner. I change afterwards. I feel like it gives you a bit of a better run getting there, and you can use the service road as a little bit of extra curbing, let's say. Coming into this rather nice corner, I do enjoy this one, end of the other track where it disappears over there. And third gear is cambered nice and gently on the way in, and we don't want to push the exit too much because we need to brake almost immediately for the very tricky turn 7. Again, wait for the car to get the front end to bite in, and make sure you get a good clean sweep exit all the way down the hill coming down to turn 8, which is the chicane, lowest part of the track. Hunting down here now, we might get some overtakes down here. You never know. I don't think it's long enough for a bit of slipstream, but you will get some dive bombs through here, so be very careful. Just as the extra bit of road appears, be very careful running too far wide because you can get an off track. You want a nice late apex, second gear, and you see me grazing the brake and then building the power to 80% and then full throttle when I know I'm not going to run any further wide than this. You can use all the blue, so use it, it's there. Coming up to the Schumacher-S's now. This was very tricky to get right because I don't usually use the entrance curve like that, but I felt I needed to get full throttle. You did see I had a lift there as turn in just to help us get around, because that second apex that I just went over does have an off track. And if you cut it any more, I think there is a slowdown as well there. So be mindful of that. Again, another favorite corner of mine because it does have camber. So just before the 100 board, braking in a straight line. Third gear for this, I normally take the curb, but I found that in this setup, it was unsettling the Ferrari quite a lot. So avoid the curb, get around it nicely. You can take more speed into it because of the camber, which is lovely. Bring the car over to the left-hand side again, and then wait again for the car to settle down and then ease in the power to get a nice smooth exit. One of the most important corners to get right that, because it's onto a massive long straight with a kink in it. So be mindful of getting that exit right. It should bode well for lap time. Coming up to the final chicane, and it's the tight one as I mentioned in the intro, so it is really, really tricky. Don't go too wide through here, it is that tight. Just before the 100 board, we are braking, of course, in a straight line. I go into the first, you could probably get here through second. I don't take too much curve on the first apex, but I try and get a lot more on the second. Again, nice smooth exit, don't run too far wide, use all the curb, but don't use the grass. up to the gears to the final corner again, and this is going to be another crucial corner for lap time. This is my braking point, if you can find one. Second gear, and you want to apex after the barrier starts here. So you see I'm tickling the curve as we go past, and I'm building up that power to 100% to run wide perfectly like that. For once, I actually used all of the track available. Hunting to the line now. I did forget to get a screenshot, so you're going to have to deal with a screenshot of the chase cam, unfortunately. But that us across the line in a 55.881. So yeah, high 55s, probably mid 56s to be honest. The tyres were wearing out towards the end, so be mindful of that, particularly on the slower corners. And after Tsukuba, I think it'd be nice to stretch our legs around here a little bit. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you on the next one.